Imagine if you could live in a world of constant pleasure, a world where every desire of yours gets fulfilled. Would you choose to live in such a world? A tempting proposition, isn't it? But it's not merely a rhetorical question. It's a mystery that has intrigued philosophers for centuries, a philosophical mystery. Let's delve into the world of John Stuart Mill, one of the most influential philosophers of the 19th century. Born in Britain, Mill was a man of many talents. Philosopher, political economist, civil servant, and a proponent of utilitarianism. He was a deep thinker who dared to question the norms of his time, to probe into the very essence of human happiness and the meaning of life. He was one of those rare minds that challenged conventional wisdom and took us to the depths of philosophical understanding. His ideas continue to shape our thinking, even in the 21st century. So what was his unique take on our opening question? Well, John Stuart Mill, a British philosopher from the 19th century, had quite a unique take on this question. Mill championed an ethical theory known as utilitarianism. Hailing from the Greek word utilis, which means useful, utilitarianism is a philosophy that centers on the maximization of happiness. It's a way of viewing the world that encourages us to consider the greatest good for the greatest number of people. Now, this might seem like a simple and agreeable approach, but let's delve a little deeper. According to Mill, actions are not judged by their intentions or their means, but by their consequences. The rightness or wrongness of an action is determined by its ability to promote happiness or to produce the opposite. But here's where it gets interesting. Mill didn't believe that all forms of happiness were created equal. He distinguished between higher and lower pleasures. Lower pleasures, he argued, were those that satisfied our basic physical needs. Think about the satisfaction you get from a good meal or the enjoyment of a sunny day. These pleasures, while important, are not the pinnacle of human happiness, according to Mill. Higher pleasures, on the other hand, are intellectual and moral in nature. They encompass the joy of learning a new skill, the fulfillment that comes from helping others, or the satisfaction of solving a complex problem. These pleasures, Mill believed, held a greater intrinsic value than their physical counterparts. To illustrate this point, Mill famously said, "It is better to be a human being dissatisfied than a pig satisfied. Better to be Socrates dissatisfied than a fool satisfied." This quote encapsulates Mill's belief that even a life fraught with challenges and dissatisfaction is more valuable, if it is spent pursuing intellectual and moral pleasures, than a life of easy contentment spent in the pursuit of physical pleasures. So, for Mill, a world of constant physical pleasure would not be the ideal. He believed in the superiority of intellectual and moral pleasures over physical one. But Mill's philosophies didn't stop at happiness. He was a staunch advocate of individual liberty too. Mill believed that personal freedom was the bedrock of a flourishing society. He championed the idea that each individual should be free to live life as they see fit, without interference, provided that their actions do not harm others. This idea forms the backbone of what is now famously known as Mill's harm principle. Mill's harm principle posits that the only legitimate reason for the restriction of an individual's liberty is to prevent harm to others. This is a principle that has had a profound influence on legal and moral discussions, even to this day. It allows for the expression of individuality, the pursuit of personal goals, and the freedom to be oneself without the fear of unwarranted intrusion. Mill believed in the freedom of the individual as long as it didn't harm others. He held that society benefits when individuals are free to live as they choose. Mill's principles of utility and liberty continue to shape our world today. His philosophy, like a ripple in a pond, has extended far beyond his own time, influencing the very fabric of our society. The greatest happiness principle, for instance, has seeped into our collective consciousness, encouraging us to strive for the greatest good for the greatest number. Mill's concepts of liberty and individuality have also left an indelible mark. They've informed our understanding of human rights and have been instrumental in shaping democratic societies where everyone's voice matters. So, Mill isn't just a philosopher from the 19th century. He's a guiding light that continues to illuminate our path, helping us grapple with the complexities of happiness and freedom. His philosophy is alive and well, living in our laws, our societies, and our minds. So next time you ponder about happiness or freedom, remember Mill's philosophy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which philosopher you'd like us to cover next.